How you guys doing? Welcome back to a Few Brews podcast.
It's your boys once again. It never changes.
Never does.
It's your boys, Nick,
Frank. How you guys doing on this beautiful Friday?
All right, so we got a lot to talk about.
Yeah,
A lot.
absolutely.
And we have a lot of time to talk about it with. So maybe today's going to be a little bit longer. We're going to see how it goes.
Absolutely.
Frank,
Tell me.
As we start off with most of our podcast, bro, how you doing today, sir?
I'm all right. How are you?
I'm doing great, sir. Thank you.
Just fucking fine. Oh, excuse me. Just fine and dandy.
I'm doing fine and dandy. It's been an interesting week for
Yes, it has.
current events in general.
Yeah, I'd agree. Where do you want to start?
I mean, I feel like one of the most natural ways to start is talking about the new developments in the case because it's essentially a case at this point of Andrew Tate.
Yep.
So
Where do you want to start?
if you would, for the people, just explain the situation as you see it for Andrew Tate. What is going on?
So I'm hearing that he got arrested for human trafficking. Somebody's saying money laundering. I don't have any confirmation of what he's actually got arrested for.
The truth is, it's a little unclear, I think, right?
And a lot of people, I just want to start with this because, like, I know a lot of people don't like Andrew Tate. A lot of people aren't fans of his. I like Andrew Tate.
Hot take.
Yeah, I like the whole masculinity, wake up, do what you got to do, be a fucking man, be a man about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. Just addressing him first as a character generally.
Yeah.
I think he is just that. I think he's a character. I think he's found a lane that he's able to operate in.
Yeah.
Monetarily, that's beneficial to him, right? And in that, I mean, there are some things that he says, and, maybe people won't like that I say this, but there are some principles that he preaches, such as, like you said, be a man, work hard, do your thing, you know what I'm saying? And try to be successful, try to be the best man that you can be. Along with that are extremely misogynistic views that, say that women are property and X, Y, and Z, stuff like that. I can speak only for myself in this regard, and I don't agree with that at all. Point blank, period. Yeah. And I think that's got to go on the record before we even start this topic.
Yeah, I don't think women are property, generally speaking. Like, something, like I said, like, I like Andrew Tate. I like his views on a lot of things. I think he has a very...
You're trying to be top G.
Yeah, I like that. He's very old school with his thoughts. He's very, like, like men go out there, they work, they do what they have to do, and they come home and they're men, They come home and they take care of their own. I don't agree with, go out, cheat, just because you're a top G, that's what you expect from women. I don't agree with that because...
I feel like that's one of the things that he said a lot. Like, oh yeah, I should be able to sleep with as many women as I want to.
Yeah.
Because I'm the man and that's what I get to do, essentially.
Yeah, I don't agree with that part. I mean, to each their own, I'm just not that guy, but...
Right.
I think for the, generally speaking, like his masculinity and just talking about men have to be men. Men don't enjoy what they do. They just get up, they go do what they have to do. They come home and they provide. I agree with that. That's just what we got to wake up and do.
Now, with that comes the central topic. What we just mentioned is the fact that he's been arrested, detained, whatever you want to say in one way or another. And where is he right now? Romania?
Yeah, he's in Romania. So there was this whole thing like, oh, the pizza box, you shouldn't have you should have recycled your pizza box.
Run it back one step before that. There was a Twitter beef between him and who?
And Greta Thunberg.
And in that Twitter beef, he was like, oh yeah, I have about 12 cars. They have V8 engines.
Yeah,
Look at my
he's
Bugatti.
got way more than 12, yeah.
Whatever.
But
they got into it.
Yeah, a lot of people are like, speculating that, their beef was what got him bagged up. Like,
right.
you should have recycled your pizza box. That's what got you caught. But
he took a picture with the pizza box.
But the thing is, you have a passport. You enter that country. The feds, the people already know you're there.
Right.
That's like entering the U.S. with my own passport. And I'm not wanted for anything. But if you're wanted for something, and I walk into this country with my name on it,
right,
I'm gonna pop the second I get into this country.
Just living in New York in general, I mean, I feel like you and I know this almost as much as anybody would. Big Brother, no pun intended, is
always watching.
Always watching.
Absolutely.
There's cameras on every pole in the city. You have to use your phone to get a train ticket, to get a bus ticket, or whatever the case is, or use your credit card to do so. That is the means through which the government would track you if they needed to track you.
Yeah, you gotta.
They wouldn't use a pizza box.
No, you have a footprint everywhere you go. You're gonna get marked no matter what. Especially if you're a wanted guy, you're gonna get marked. The only thing that I didn't agree with, and hear me out, is Cardi B coming at him like, well, like.
Oh, did she?
Yeah, she had a Twitter comment like, well, and she added, his whole thing like all human trafficking, all the bad things he was doing. But Cardi B like openly admitted it, and I have the article here. I'll tell you from the time it was from. I'm sorry. Give me a second.
No, you're fine.
Yeah, like I have, Cardi B, March 27th, 2019. This was an article from BBC News where she openly explained why she drugged and robbed men. So you're going to come at somebody like, oh, listen, by all means, I'm not agreeing with. If he's guilty of human trafficking and he did something to these girls, by far, like, I'm all against it. He should get slammed down.
Let's take a step back. Because before we even get there, I don't think we've explained what exactly he was detained for. So like you just said, it's either money laundering or
human trafficking.
It's human trafficking.
Yeah.
They were trying to say, or there's speculation, like you had mentioned before, that some of the allegations for human trafficking came from the fact that he's before said that part of his business was that he would have like basically these cam girls that would work for him. I read today that there were some stories saying that, some of these girls may have been branded, they have been sexually assaulted, physically assaulted, whatever the case was, that they were alleging. We don't know what the actual facts are.
Yeah, I don't have facts on this case at all.
The thing that's very clear is that if that was happening, that is
rightfully so
deplorable that those have been happening, and then he had been rightfully arrested.
Yeah, rightfully so.
On the flip side of that is what he is trying to push as the narrative, which is the suits from the Matrix have finally come for me, essentially. Yeah, which 100% like, listen, excuse me, I don't agree with human trafficking. Obviously, none of us do. I'm not with just grabbing and snatching people and making them do whatever. The whole motive against human trafficking, of course,
but. At the same time, a guy like that is out there pushing this whole agenda, like men should be men, women should be women. We should all have our places in society, and men should man up and do what you have to do. I agree with. So for me, I don't think he actually did this, but that's just me. All right. I'm my own person. If you have your own beliefs, not you, generally speaking, if you have your own beliefs, that's on you. But for me, I follow Andrew Tate and I follow his backstory. I even seen people who he hangs out with, and a lot of the guys that are always with him are like, yo, this can't be true, because he's just not like that. I've been with him day after day, time after time, and he's just not like that. I don't know him personally, so I can't say I can't say, oh, 100% he didn't do it, but I'm an Andrew Tate fan. I don't think he did it. 100% I'm not there, like, oh, he didn't do it, because people with money do flex their power, and they do try to, I own this, I just own that. Same thing with Jeffrey Epstein, all that other shit,
That's the thing too that also doesn't make sense, because if I was trying to conduct this human trafficking ring, why would I make it so hot for myself? Why would I put, these pictures of my possessions, assets, things that were actually frozen, and I think they were in like court papers, court documents, that his Bugatti was seized, his other cars were seized, assets of his were seized by the government over there. And if you were doing that to me, I mean, for a guy who I think at this point, I mean, at one level or another, whether you like it or not, he's been able to amass a certain amount of wealth, of popularity. And that's not, I don't think, easily done. Like, you have to have some type of intellect. Yeah. Whether he's using it for good or bad is a separate discussion. But the fact that he has some type of intellect, that is a fact, I think. I think it's an undisputable fact. And so it doesn't make sense that he would make his shit so hot that it would bring eyes to him such that, he would blow himself up for doing these things or having these illegal, enterprises.
Yeah, I think it's more of a, like, I feel like it's a witch hunt against him. I think he was too out in the open with, because everybody's been just hating on him. And I think it's like the population, community, even media is just like, oh, he's too out there. Like, he shouldn't be saying this stuff. Let's cancel him. So now it's like, let's jump in and cancel him.
Let's call a spade a spade. It's the left wing media, period, that does not like him.
Yeah.
Because he has ultra conservative views in things that we had just said, even if we don't agree with what he was saying. Those are his views. Yeah. That's what's being protested by, masses of people, masses of, political parties or women in general who do not like him, who find him misogynistic. But at the end of the day, he was arrested. We do not know what for at this point.
Yeah, they haven't. They let his brother go and they just kept him.
Oh, did they?
I think his brother's actually out. I think they might have let him go.
Or were they both on bail or bond?
They both got arrested, and I haven't seen anything about his brother. His brother's really not like a mainstream guy. Like, I've seen him on a couple of things, but he's not out in the open speaking the same thing as Andrew. So I feel like it's honestly just a witch hunt. Like, let's drop this guy, let's get him, and let's get him out of the public's eye. Because they gave him like a 30-day, like, we're going to hold you for 30 days, which I don't know the laws in Romania. So,
but let's look at it like this, right? He was also banned off of major, platforms, YouTube, I think Spotify, major platforms where before TikTok, I don't know if he was still on that, major platforms where he had his content, where he was able to derive at least a part of his profit from. Yeah. He was removed from those before. At least on Twitter, on things of that nature, he was reinstated when the switch happened from Musk, or when it went to Musk. And so now he's gotten some voice back, and then immediately after, he was taken down for these unknown circumstances, because they're unknown at this point. There are different allegations, different theories. So it fits his narrative almost that, the Matrix, quote unquote, or the people in black ties and black suits came from him. Even if you're looking at it from the stance of, I am one of his listeners, viewers, I adopt everything that he says, I agree with it, deplorable or not, and he's telling me these people are after me, and then I see him time and time again being gone after, and the circumstances under which he's being detained or arrested are foggy at best. If you're one of his viewers who actually signs on to everything that he's saying, and you believe that he's actually being actively hunted by whoever it is that controls whatever platforms that's in the mainstream media, you could start to believe that, maybe he's right. It almost becomes like a self-fulfilling prophecy when every single time he says, they're after me, the Matrix is after me, the suits are after me, and then they go and get him. For people who are not critical thinkers, maybe, or for people who are adopting and believe what he's saying, it lends almost credibility to, what he is, proposing, the fact that he's being hunted.
Yeah. I just feel like with such a big case with a high profile person, they would have something, they would have at least said something by now. So it's like, was it a witch hunt or was it not? Because it's like, oh, he's human trafficking. Do you not have victims? Do you not have anybody who's up there talking the same thing with Weinstein or Epstein?
To be fair, I don't think that if there was an active investigation, especially if this enterprise that they're trying to go after is bigger than just these two people, Andrew and his brother, I don't think actually that they would say more than what they have to.
Yeah, but
because why would you? Because then you tip off the rest of the
public eye, though. That's the thing, right? It's really in the public eye, which I get. It's a criminal investigation, so the public eye doesn't really matter. It's what's going on behind doors.
Not that it doesn't matter. Not that it doesn't matter, but that it could jeopardize the investigation.
Of course,
it could tip people off, and we know these people have access to assets, to money, and methods of getting out of whatever country that they're in and moving.
But if you look at it like that, where it's going to tip people off. What about Epstein or Weinstein, when they tip people off like, oh, this person came out and they were like, oh, I got raped. Then you had a whole bunch of other people following it up like, yeah, I got raped by, Weinstein, to be in a movie, to be in some sort of production. So wouldn't you think it would be the same?
I'm not sure I'm following you. You mean that people would come out of the woodwork?
Yeah, people would come out.
Because maybe there was some benefit to reap from it?
Not only benefits, but they would be like, oh, we got to get this guy because, being raped or being trafficked, that's a serious thing.
Extremely serious.
So even if they had to cover up the names, the same thing they did with Weinstein at first, where they were like, oh, another person came forward. Don't you think more people would come forward?
We don't know. We don't know if more people came forward because, in effect, the law enforcement agency from that country does not function in the same way as ours do. We don't know.
So what do you think?
We don't. I think the best answer is we don't know, A, the allegations, what they are in concrete, terms. B, we don't know what the investigation, if there's an investigation pending, what that looks like and how that looks like and what information would be accessible to the general public. Yeah. So right now I feel like everybody is having their own theories about what could happen. I think that's almost a dangerous thing. Yeah. Because then you have people on either side having the ability to say, no, he did this, I hope he goes to jail, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And that's a dangerous thing to say because you're almost saying that,
he's guilty or not guilty.
No, but you're almost saying that I hope he goes to jail, which necessarily has the idea that I hope that there were victims. And I don't think that anybody should be saying, I hope these things are true, because if those things were true, then people have gotten hurt, and that is unacceptable.
Of course.
On the other hand, to be able to say that, none of this is true, he free Andrew Tate, X, Y, and Z. Hold on. Hold your breath. Hold your horses. Let's see where this investigation goes. Let's see what information comes. It's too early in the process.
Yeah.
For anyone to really weigh in on it. So the best answer for this whole topic is we don't know what's happening. Hold on to your fucking...
Hold your horses.
Hold your horses. Hold on to your seats. His whole life has been a series of events that is a movie. Yeah. It cannot be disputed, really.
But just like you were saying, like, why would you be in the public eye if you are doing all this in the background, you know?
It almost doesn't make sense.
Well, what do you think about the thing I started with Cardi B?
The fact, and to bring it back to what you said, she was saying that she did drug somebody to be able to rob them.
And rob them. And then she comes out and she's like, wow. Like, no, she said, well.
There's a saying, right? And it says, don't throw bricks if you live in a glass house, or don't throw rocks if you live in a glass house. I think at times like these where there are clearly people who are doing the job at this point, there's been an arrest, there's been a detainment. Let the people whose job it is to investigate, to
sort it out and get it all done.
Sort it out in the avenues that you have, the official avenues. Mm-hmm. If you want to have your feelings about it, you're entitled to your opinions. It just reflects poorly on you if you've done things that are similar to that and you're saying, oh, like, let's applaud this thing that's happened, blah, 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 and you've done similar things.
Yeah.
Nobody agrees that you should go anywhere and be drugged, robbed, the victim of a crime.
Or fucking trafficked.
Period, point blank.
Yeah.
That's it.
I agree.
That's it.
It's true.
It's a very unfortunate thing when the population is looking at this thing almost as like a gotcha moment for somebody. Because
I could see that. Everyone's like, gotcha.
Simply because of the fact that they don't like some of his views.
Yeah.
The fact of the matter is, he has been able to make a business on his views. There are people that agree with him. We, at least, live in the United States of America. I know his reach was much farther than that. But a lot of people get rich off of horrible things that happen to either other people, industries, the environment. That happens every day. All right. You can't really pick and choose the things that you get mad at like that and then applaud situations such as this when, if you are right, it necessarily means that people were hurt. I think that that's just a hard thing to be able to stomach. And those people who are doing that should kind of like evaluate what it is they're doing, because they have like a knee-jerk reaction to these things. Just slow down. think about what you're saying. Think about what you're doing.
Yeah.
Approach these things with calmness, with clarity.
And stay in your lane.
Exactly. Stay
You know what I mean? Just stay in your lane.
Know
That's
your role.
it.
If you are not the prosecutor, if you're not the defense attorney, if you're not the person, have empathy towards those people, even if it's hard to have empathy towards somebody whose views you think are deplorable.
Or against your own views.
Right, because one day it could be you yourself that is facing allegations, whatever the case is.
Of course.
Happens to people all the time, every day. And you would be wanted to be treated with the same, calmness and hesitancy to see the whole story before you weigh in and before you're asking for somebody's head.
Just because you're rich and famous.
Right? Like, I don't think that should be a controversial opinion.
Yeah.
That you should wait and see what the authorities have to say.
Of course. See, now, my point is, who is this Greta girl? Like, why is she such a star all of a sudden? And I'm going to look it up now.
So I think that Greta is a proponent of basically recognizing that climate change is a thing and that we need to take care of the planet that we have now.
Yeah. She's like just a random 20-year-old girl who's she's an environmental activist.
Is she also autistic? I remember hearing from something that she was autistic. Because somebody was saying on a podcast that I watched that it was kind of like a low blow for Tate in the first place. They even go after her because I think it was her in this Twitter exchange.
Yeah, but it's like
him that went after her in this Twitter exchange.
But she's not like a new up and coming person.
No, she's not.
She's been on the scene for a little bit, and even if she is or if she isn't, I mean, I respect everybody. You know how I am. I respect everyone's views. I don't got anything against anybody. So I think she's very in the spotlight, and for me it's I don't really care what her views are.
That's another thing too,
you know what I mean? She's just like a kid.
She is a kid.
Everyone was like, oh, she's a kid, so I've seen this thing where it's she's a kid, so nobody can tell her shut the F up.
Yeah.
But I'm here and I'll just tell her shut the F up, because the whole environmental thing too. Not to go off topic, but let us figure it out. Let us see what has to be done. There's so much science against it and so much science with it that we don't really know what's going on with this planet. You know what I mean? But you get what I'm saying, right?
I do.
So she's just this mainstream whole oh my god, it's Greta. No, she's a 20-year-old kid. That's all she is.
Here's my thought too on this subject. When you become a public figure, when you are at her status, right?
Yeah, she shouldn't have no status.
No, but she does for whatever reason.
Yeah.
So she does. And any person who has a status where they hold themselves out to be a public figure, because that's what it is. When you hold yourself out to be a public figure, your status legally changes, and you are now essentially, by putting yourself out into the public sphere of conversation and issues that are going on around you, and when you have a particularized issue such as she does, you open yourself up to, at any time, somebody commenting on the opinions that you have. Targeting you. Not saying that what he did was correct, right, or not deplorable to go after a girl. Because what win do you get by being a grown man, the top G, whatever you are, and what are you going to get? What are you going to get for going after her?
But
Nothing.
The thing is with her, it's she's such in the spotlight for this whole I'm Greta, I'm all this, she has this whole thing where people just respect her and just have all this. Well, she's just a 20-year-old kid who just read a science book and was oh, the environment. So who the hell else could just read that or be like her? And how about you just let us adults duke it out and you just shut the fuck up?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure of her credentials. I can't weigh in.
I just feel like a 20-year-old needs to stay in her lane.
Is she credentialed though? That's another thing.
She's an environmental protectionist or whatever.
Here's the thing.
I'll tell you right now. Yeah, go.
Here's the thing. I don't think you could discount somebody just based on their age.
No, I agree, but I just feel like she got put in the spotlight because she's oh, she's the young person who's oh, the environment. And I'm okay, there's how many other people in our government and governments all around the world, like the environment is getting ruined, global warming, global this, global that. What credits her to the utmost highest being where she's like, we have to listen to her? She's a 20-year-old kid.
Nothing says that you have to listen to her, but
I don't.
She just has a popular voice. I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
Like we said
Didn't
the
she
other...
get caught like lying on something?
I don't know. Like we said the other day, though, like once you have an opinion, once you put it out there, the power is completely to the people as to whether they credit you or not, whether they go against you or not, whatever the case is, the people are going to have an opinion.
Yeah.
And if the people have a big enough opinion, you are either credited or not, you're liked or not. Mm-hmm. That's period.
I just feel like she, not only her, but like all this whole thing with the global activists throwing paint and doing all this disruptive shit, they need to just relax and let everything just figure itself out. They're talking about shit that's going to happen fucking 1,000 years from now. Who knows if we'll even be here in 1,000 years? You know?
Yeah. I mean, that's a whole other topic because like we could get hit by an asteroid tomorrow and die.
Yeah. And then Greta and Tate and me and you would mean absolutely nothing. So everybody needs to stay in their lane and keep cruising.
It's a very,
you know what I mean?
It's a very just prolific issue though, because of the fact that these are two big name people who were taking shots at one another. And it was ironic because they were going back and forth together. And
then he got collared
Andrew
up for it.
Had that response video. The internet came up with the fact, because it wasn't actually true. Internet came up with the fact that the pizza box was what gave him
Meanwhile,
away.
he has a passport. They know he's in this country. He's always...
They need a fucking
He's
pizza
always
box.
on social media. We know where you're at, guy. Like, relax, you know?
But it was just coincidence. It was the perfect storm at the time. And it was that gotcha moment that people want, where it was like, look, you were a jerk, and now you're getting pinned down.
But you know what I don't agree with? 100%?
What?
Elon Musk getting involved. Like,
did he?
Retweeting this, like, oh, it's a pizza box. Like, he retweeted her whole comment. Yeah.
No way.
So I don't agree with that. Like, you own Twitter. Like, you're not allowed to say anything anymore. Like, you own the whole platform. Which you should have your own saying, of course, but don't pick sides here. You're the guy who runs the whole thing.
Well, I mean, I think...
Not saying I have anything against him. Excuse me. I'm just letting some fucking gases out to the environment. But I think he should just stay in his lane. Like, dude, you're a billionaire. Like, whatever you say is going to get posted. Like, stay in your fucking lane. That's it. But speaking of famous people, do you want to talk about somebody else?
Who do you got in mind, baby?
Logan Paul, bro.
What about Logan Paul? This is a whole other thing. So
I was watching something on CoffeeZilla. Shout out to CoffeeZilla. How he's just been scamming this whole crypto zoo, whatever it's called.
Can I be honest with you?
Yeah, go for it.
I've never heard of CoffeeZilla before. I don't know if that dates me or if that makes me look. I don't know. No, whatever the case was, I watched his content the other day.
He's an investigative dude. He's pretty good, man.
What was the first thing that I told you? I'm like, this boy should work for the feds.
Yeah, that boy is a fucking fed.
Did you see that video he had, bro?
Yeah, he went line by line.
He went line by line.
Yeah,
he explained connections. If nothing else, his narrative was extremely compelling.
So let me give you a background here. So Logan Paul invented this whole like crypto thing where you were allowed to buy like these eggs, and you could use different type of cryptocurrencies to buy these eggs. And over time they would hatch, and you would have some type of
hybrid animals.
Yeah, what he likes to say was like the new Pokemon.
Right. That was the idea behind this.
Yeah.
But let me just like add into that and color the picture a little bit further. The animals that you would start out with, most of the time, I mean, he explained it that there would be different levels of rarity to each one of these animals, right?
Yeah.
But when I saw the, I guess, prototype of what it would have been,
some Google shit.
It was like a Google picture of an elephant.
Was just like a shark's. Oh no, it was a elephant with like a whale's, like a beluga whale's face.
That was only after you had mated it with another animal, and it made a hybrid animal.
Yeah, and then you could sell these as NFTs.
Right.
So like, did you watch his response?
I did.
So he was very like.
Let's just make this clear. CoffeeZilla had a 3-part video.
Of course.
With over an hour, easily over an hour, maybe over 2-3 hours of him going into each one, parsing through the details, the
phone calls and everything, bro.
Phone recordings, and that became controversial. Phone text messages and records that he had from these people. And then Logan responds with an 8-minute looking at the camera. Guys, this is not true. CoffeeZilla is wrong. I am right. The people who I worked with were wrong.
He says
nothing.
This guy's really good. That's all he kept saying. Oh, he's really good. It's like
he's convincing.
Yeah, it's like, guy, go up there, and if you're wrong, you're wrong. Listen, you rip people off, and I don't buy any of that crypto. I'm not into any of that because, first of all, I don't got enough money to buy into any of that shit. I'm broke as a clam's ass. But go on there, man up, and say, listen, I fucked up. I put my trust in the wrong people. They screwed me over.
Right.
And I'm sorry to my audience because you're not.
That was the whole thing that they were saying, because at the end of the day, his app never came through.
Yeah. And he was so like, I'm the victim. I got played. But it's like, guy, you're sitting on your own podcast saying, I got played. I'm the victim, wearing fucking $1,000 of gear. Like, oh, I'm sorry, guys. I mean, it's going to come out soon, but I got a fucking $1,800 shirt on, and I'm not gonna say sorry to my audience. We're the people who are watching you, guy. Like,
here's the problem, right?
Yeah.
He promised his followers, millions of people, that this app, value it as you may. Say that it sucks, say that it's great, whatever the case is.
Of course.
He promised them a product, then didn't deliver on that product. His reason for not doing so was because he was saying one of his developers for that product was essentially a liar, a cheat, who held his game hostage so that he was not able to produce it, essentially.
Yeah.
And that was the reason for him not, coming through on his promise, which was, here's this app, this game that I'm going to present to you that you paid for, because these people paid, never got what they paid for.
But he also invested $1 million. So you know what? These guys lost their money. Break down your own $1 million and send them $1,000 each. At least they get something back. Something is better than nothing. I mean, you're sitting up there, and I've seen his podcast, his whole, I watched Impulsive, the whole, I guess, response to this. And all his friends are sitting there with their head down, I know this motherfucker's lying. I don't know what's going on here. And they're all just looking down at the, no one's making eye contact with the camera. Oh, I don't know what's going on here. You know what's going on here. He's, in his last podcast, he's saying, I'm the smartest guy in the world. I know everything, come on, guy. Just fucking tell us, if you cheated us, it is what it is. None of us are going to use the lawsuit. None of us is going to come after you. Just admit when you're guilty, be a man, and that's it.
That's the thing that we don't know at this point, though, because it's not a given that somebody won't go after him.
Yeah.
Whether it's civilly or whether it's criminally or in another capacity. I'm talking
about him as a person.
No. Morally, the right thing to do.
Yeah, and even if you're not morally, because he looks, I don't know him as a person, but he looks checked out the whole time. He's putting on this whole facade, I didn't know I was gonna get played and blah blah blah.
Right.
But you have a whole team that's there doing this with you. Even if their whole team was a rip, they're all rip-offs, whatever. They were gonna get their own, and they're gonna F you out of the deal. You're still somebody you're a public figure. You know what I mean? I'm an average guy. You're an average guy. I go to work. You go to work. We wake up every morning. We do the same shit. I saw completely through the bullshit of that response video. I saw completely through the bullshit of that fucking podcast he put up. And I know if this ever goes public or this goes whatever, he's going to come at one of us and say oh, all the people are against me. But it's you're already fucked up in the past.
Right.
All right. You already had this whole video where you're not susceptible to people's feelings. You already, you know what I'm talking about? You're somebody who doesn't care about people's feelings. So what's to say that you wouldn't F us all over in $1 million Bitcoin or whatever profit, So that's all I'm saying. If if I ever came up with something and like, listen, I'm broke. Like I'm not saying I was homeless or ever at any point like in the dirt or in the mud, but but
The mud butt.
I'm not somebody who would go out there and put out a product just to F over people, you know? Like he has this whole persona where you could see like just how he is as a person, where he's just out there trying to get at people just so he could, for his own, you know, like just, it's just all for him. Even with his boys, like you see their faces, like they just look like I got ruined. Like I'm hooked up with this one dude and he's just a fucking liar.
Right.
You know? You can just see. Go look at the podcast. You'll see. If you're someone who could see through bullshit, you can see how they're all looking down. They got this random ass dude with a ponytail on there. Like,
who was that guy?
Yeah, I don't know. I called him ponytail. Random dude with a ponytail came and sat there and was like sitting there, like making sure he didn't say any legal issues.
Maybe
like,
we weren't being fair because I don't know about you, but I don't watch them that often, and I wasn't. Maybe he's a character that normally goes on there, but in that podcast alone, and this got a lot of eyes.
Of course,
we weren't really
a lot more hate than it did likes.
We weren't really privy to like this whole situation, but when it came up, like because
I've been following it for a couple of days,
just because of the sheer,
actually a couple of weeks,
but just because of the sheer volume that the issue was getting attention from, we saw it. And then it's like you're coming into this universe of people who you don't know, and then you know that these three guys are normally on the podcast, but then this other random person is just there.
We'll call him Ponytail.
Ponytail is just sitting there, and he's just barely saying anything.
Yeah, he's just sitting there, like looking, like winking at him, like don't say that, don't say this, like.
Oh, and this is what I need to say too. I'm sorry.
Go for it.
Shut the up, bro.
Yeah.
What? Like, if there's a possibility that somebody's going to come after you legally, you going
your
in
lawyer
there
would advise you to shut the F up and just keep your head down.
Oh my God, bro.
That's it.
Do you know what it took when I watched it, how I cringed when he's saying, yes, I did this. Yes, I did this. No, I didn't do this. First of all,
I know.
Having a legal mindset, right? I think the first thing that you do is you
shut up.
Shut up.
Of course.
Stop what you're doing.
He never watched The Sopranos as a kid, right?
He has like, I don't know. He has this need inside of him. Like I've known people. I've known people like this who cannot have somebody have the last word.
Yeah, because
whether or not it's good for them in the long run,
because he's so busy trying to play the victim, right?
Right.
Do you not see everything is like, oh, I got screwed. Like, I'm sorry, guys.
And then he was saying, yeah, this guy was a felon. This guy was a con man. They were on your team.
Yeah.
You picked them. And then he's passing the buck of responsibility at every point he can. I am sorry because my team didn't do enough of a job of vetting these people. And you are the boss.
You know what part?
It lands on your desk responsibility.
You know what part annoyed me was like, oh, CoffeeZilla won't come here because he knows he won't say it with his chest out.
But he was blocked.
But you blocked him on everything. You didn't say anything. You didn't respond to any of his texts, his messages, whatever it's so.
And he had receits.
Yeah.
Of
and
him
CoffeeZilla had everything
him.
lined up. Fucking dot by
boy,
dot. Like what he said.
Like a Fed just had a cork board in front of him with strings going everywhere. So, dates lined up. Like you can't just respond to that in 8 minutes. And if you're going to, you did not do it in a way that you should have. You should have said, if this is your response, you should have said, there has been a situation that I know has evolved out of, this app development.
Yeah.
From that has arisen allegations that there has been some wrongdoing on my part,
of course,
on my team's part, or the people that I've been associated with part. I want you to know that we are doing everything that we can, cooperating in every way that we can to, take this very seriously.
Toxic masculinity.
To work with the authorities because he kept saying that there was an active investigation, criminal allegations. If you're saying that, and it's true, own up to it.
I want to say something here. Everything for that fucking guy is about money.
Yeah.
I'm going to sue you, like blah, blah, blah.
He's saying it because he thinks it looks good for his brand.
Yeah. Oh,
these counter allegations.
You better be ready. I'm going to sue you. Listen, guy, what are you suing him for? You don't need the fucking money. All right. Just come up straight up. If you didn't do it, just say, listen, CoffeeZilla, you're BSing. I don't want to hear about this. You're BSing. It's going to go to court. It's going to get figured out. blank. Not, I'm going to sue you. You put my name on blast. Like defamation. Kid, you've been out here since forever. There's no defaming you. You already put shit on YouTube that you shouldn't have when you were younger.
But this is in the United States, and defamation or libel, whatever claim he was going to make, the defense to that legally is that what the person who you're alleging said that was wrong, like say in this case that he was trying to defraud people in some type of way, the defense to defamation or libel in that situation would be that what that person is alleging is actually true. And if it's proven to be that it's actually true that he was, scamming people, your claim is out the window. Your claim is out the window.
Yeah.
And then what?
And then it just falls back on your lap.
Exactly. This is what happens when you can't shut up.
Yeah.
This is what happens.
I think for him, he's trying to be in the limelight so hard. He wants to be in the media. Like, he played the victim. Meanwhile, you have all these people who are saying, like, I've been victimized. This shit happened to me. This is a real story. But he wants to look like such, I'm the victim. You know why? Because he just wants to keep his audience. He wants to keep his views up. He wants to keep his money coming in. And it's not about you or me. And I didn't invest in it. I for sure know you didn't invest in it. Excuse me. He just wants to make sure that the people who did invest in it, like, oh, I'm sorry, guys. I didn't know the team I was with. Meanwhile, the week before, you're like, I'm the smartest guy in the world. I know what I'm doing all the time. Like, I walk in a room and I'm the smartest guy in the room. Like, no, you fucked up. You try to rip a bunch of people off and you got caught, guy. Just admit to it. A sorry goes a long way. Just saying, oh, I'm sorry. Listen, I try to create an app. I try to make money off of people. And because at that point, this guy is just, even from this podcast to him in the past, like, he's just been all about money. It's all about views. It's all about, because the first thing he's been talking about on this whole response is, oh, CoffeeZilla has this, has that. And, go look at his Patreon. Like, guy, you're even promoting the guy that's going against you. Like, he's all about promotion.
That's exactly what
all it's been about for him.
What was that H3 podcast that you made?
Yeah, H3 I watched.
And he was like, listen, by whether the allegations are true or not, the worst move you could have made was blast this information to your own viewers so that they knew where they might not have otherwise known. Yeah, that this is going on.
Because CoffeeZilla has like a solid case. Like, if you watch the videos, like, I don't know the background, I just know he tried to create an app. I watched this in the past, even before this came up, and I watched it because I do follow Impulsive. I watched a lot of these podcasts. I follow them, So for him, it's like, I've been promoting this and everything's been going downhill, and now I'm just trying to promote it even more. And now you got people where you even promoted another person who's out there showing, I don't know if it's facts, I don't know if it's false,
but allegations,
but showing allegations of what you've been doing.
Right.
So what is it? Just are you gonna actually say it with your chest what you've been doing?
Say it with your chest.
Yeah, exactly. Because if you're frauding people, it is what it is. I know you fucking don't want to be caught up by the feds for insider trading, but guy, like, just be straight up. It is what it is. And if you don't want to get bagged up, give people back their money, because I know you're worth money, man.
Right.
You want to fuck over people and you want to take their money, give him a penny back at least.
Sometimes you win the game, and he's won a lot. Sometimes you lose the game.
And a sorry, a sorry, oh, I apologize for this. A penny back in their account is probably worth a peace of mind that you should be giving them, instead of, I got victimized here. Like, no, guy, you're not the victim. Like, stop playing it.
All that does is prolong.
New Yorkers see through your bullshit.
All that
New Yorker does.
Exactly. All that does is prolong the fact that you've done them wrong. You're now acknowledging that something wrong had happened. You're trying to push responsibility onto somebody else.
Yeah.
And all at the same time, you're still keeping these people's money.
And at the same time, you're putting out these fake tears like, oh, I didn't want nobody to know. Like, no, guy, like, I see through your bullshit.
How uncomfortable was it for you to watch that impulsive podcast? You made me watch it.
Yeah.
And Mike and what's the other guy's name?
George.
They were like, we're going to ask the hard questions and we're going to play the devil's advocate.
I want to go on record. I want George, you're religious. I'm religious. You talk all this, I believe in God, Jesus Christ and whatnot. Man the fuck up and just say it like what you're really going through. Because you're just over here talking like, Jesus wanted you to find your way and, God was leading you through this path. But you're sitting there with your head down the whole podcast where your boy's scamming people. That's
Speak
not
up.
like that's not the right thing to do.
That's your responsibility.
Yeah. You want to talk all this stuff like, oh, I follow God, I follow the word of the Lord, but you have your head down the whole time. And the other guy, Mike, won't even make eye contact with Logan. Meanwhile, that's his fucking jockey right there. Like, yeah,
the whole time.
Yeah, he's like this.
He just like looks down. He's
like this. Like if that's your boy,
hold your chest out, look into the camera,
and just admit, just be man.
Or not even that.
Don't let Hollywood fucking take your balls.
You didn't even have anything to do with it, Mike or George. Your boy is your boy. It is your job as.
And George got roasted the week before. The whole like, oh, you believe in God, you need therapy. Like
that's a separate thing. But listen, you're my boy, and I'm your boy, right? When I fucked up before, you've been like, Nick, you dropped the ball on this one.
Of course,
you have to hold me accountable. I have to hold you accountable.
That's
you do not
all it
go.
Goes.
I would never go and sit next to you and put out to the people like. No, I stand by my friend, whether or not he was wrong, to whatever magnitude he was wrong.
Because I'd call you on that shit instantly.
Right. And it's like...
Because that's what boys do. We fucking walk the straight line with each other.
You need to have your own moral compass. And when your friends don't align with that, you need to check them.
Yeah. Because George was all like... George got dissed out priorly. He just kept getting dissed out. Logan's here on his high horse. I'm the smartest guy when I walk in the room, blah, blah, blah. But George, like, where the fuck are you when the morals come into place? You're talking all this shit. Like, I read the Bible every night before I go to sleep. I pray every night. If somebody's doing harm or doing wrong by the Bible, I'll let them know. Right. Meanwhile, you're sitting here with your head down, waiting for him to quote your Bible, like, say something like that he said wrong the prior week before that. Like I don't understand that.
At the same time though, bro, we both know that it's like their mindset is going to be all
about money.
You don't bite the hand that feeds you.
No, of course. Because without Logan, those two guys would be nowhere. And they've said it on the podcast before.
Like they literally in that same podcast where Logan was trying to make his case and apologize, they're like, "Listen, man, like I owe so much to you for the opportunities that we've had together, and like it's been a hard week for you and this, that, and the other thing."
Yeah.
Like no, once you're sitting next to your boys and they're being accused of that thing, if you're actually your boys, you're not saying, "I know you had a hard week." You're in the boat with them.
Yeah, I think it comes down to like. They're just acting like suckers, bro.
Yo, you sucker.
Yeah, you're fucking sucker,
you a sucker, bro.
Stand up. Especially if you're saying you followed the Bible and all this. I got a premonition. I heard the voice of God. It was all love. Like, bro, man up and just say what your boy's doing.
And you know what?
That's it.
I noticed
and call it a day.
I noticed
George, you need to man up because all this stuff you talk about the Bible, trust me, guy. I read the Bible every day. All I do is talk about God. You can ask my friend here. And I would never do wrong by the Bible. I would never do wrong by Jesus Christ. And you sitting there with your head down, just affirming that your boy he's not doing anything.
Because you're letting him do it at that point.
Exactly. Because all you care about is, I don't want to bite the hand that feeds me, so I'm going to look down. Same thing with Mike. Like, he's just like looking away. He won't make eye contact. Meanwhile, you see him on any other podcast with Logan and on Impulsive, and they're like vibing out.
Right.
Like, bro, that whole fucking episode was not a vibe. The mood was off. We could tell you were all bullshitting, and that comes straight up from a fucking New Yorker. And that's how I'm gonna give you straight up. Your turn, baby.
It's kind of a shame. I'm not gonna lie. Hold on, let me get this right.
Yeah, get that mic right, baby. Come on. Boy got that shit swung out.
Hold this real quick.
Absolutely.
Thank
because
you.
You're my boy.
Thank you, my brother. I gotta like adjust this. I'm like trying to figure this out still.
Yeah, this shit will come back and swing it, pop you in the face a couple times before you get it right. Trust me, I know.
I like don't know if I want it out here. I feel like
I'm gonna just try to drop something in your drink without you looking. That way, you just fall asleep on the couch.
Fall asleep. No, we can't. We were just talking about how bad that was. Stop coughing in my drink, man. Jesus Christ.
I fucking put your drink that way and coffee your drink. Get the fuck out of here.
All right, you see how it keeps dropping? It's so annoying.
Yeah, fucking tighten it up. Come on, get it together. Yeah, but that's how I feel about the whole thing. Like, bro, like
the thing is,
at least come out and it is what it is.
Here's what it is, right? Whether we're talking about Andrew Tate or whether we're talking about Logan Paul, George, Mike, whoever the case is, Greta, be your own person. Yeah. Have your own morals. When somebody does something outside of what you think is right, it's your duty to speak up.
Yeah, and Mike and George have a following, bro. You know what I mean? They're on Impulsive. It's not the Logan Paul fucking show. It's Impulsive. There's 3 of them on there. And George, like, I follow your shit. You're trying to do comedy. I see it. Like, that's it. Like,
you're going to be remembered for these choices that you make now.
Yeah. And at the end of days, you will fucking be remembered. Yeah.
No, but that's a fact, bro. That's a fact. You know, you can't just sign off on everything that every single person does. You have to have your own convictions.
Yeah. He who is first on earth is last in the kingdom. He needs to fucking remember that.
What?
Exactly. He who is first on this earth, who has everything they want, will be last. They're walking in that kingdom last.
I like that.
The people sitting here who are stuck trying to figure out following the word, they're going to be first in the kingdom. And that's all I have to say about that. Because I'm not speaking on that because that's my...
I feel like it's so tough. It's so tough now because it's like so many people are just like doing things to ride the coattails of others.
Yeah.
To benefit.
Nobody has fucking balls anymore. I'm going to straight up say it. Nobody has the fucking balls
Hold on. Look straight into the camera.
Nobody has the fucking balls anymore to be themselves. I walk outside and I wake up every morning. I wake up every morning and I walk outside and I'm just my own person.
You ever see that?
Yeah, I'm tired. I fucking hate waking up. I hate everything. And I still wake up and I have the balls to do what has to get done.
A Bronx Tale, right? We're talking about a Bronx Tale right now, right?
No, I'm talking about my life.
No, but I'm saying, you remember a Bronx Tale when he's talking to C, and he's going, you know,
all you got in this world is your word and your balls.
But he's like, you think he's a tough guy? You think Sonny's a tough guy? It's like, I'm the real tough guy. You got to be a tough guy to wake up every morning, go to your job, and do this for 50 years. It don't take nothing to pull a trigger.
Yep, because there's no shortcuts in life. Excuse me, but yeah. You want to take the shortcut. You want to get to where you're going.
You can't take the easy route.
Fucking wake up, do what you got to do, get it done, go home, see your family, and that's all. That's all it comes down to.
You can't take the easy route in life. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah, you got to man up, get up every morning, and do what has to be done. Keyword has to be done. Right. Pay your damn bills. Wake up, scratch your ass a couple times. I hate my life. Yeah, this sucks. I got to be up this time, but scratch your ass and keep it moving. That's all. It. Because the guy who wakes up and tries to go around it and tries to get to where they have to be without,
gets clipped.
That's the guy who gets clipped. Not saying he has to get popped, but I'm saying that's the guy who doesn't get fucking anywhere.
No, but like...
Because that's not a fucking man.
Not clipped like in the literal sense of getting clipped, but clipped as in the long run, you will not win.
Yeah. Yep. Because you got to be a fucking man. That's it.
Be a man.
Don't wake up,
bro.
Complain to your family. Just go to work. Be a man.
Be a man. This
thing will
not stay still.
I haven't complained once. I wake up every day. I go what I got to do. You can ask my girl. I don't text her anything. I don't even fucking say. All I say is good morning. I got to work. That's it. I just got out of work, babe. What are you doing? That's it. Not, oh my God, the fucking day was rough. No, the day is rough. It is long. It does suck. But I wake up. I do what I got to do.
And you're a man.
And then I go home. That's it. When I get home, I get to hang out. I do what I got to do. And that's the same thing.
Exactly.
And then I go to sleep. I wake up. It's the same thing. I pay my bills and that's it. And that's how a lot of people should be waking up thinking. It's a accomplishment. It's also a very, I don't know the word to say. It's very, there's people in other places who can't find jobs. They can't pay their bills.
Right.
And they're just sucking. And they're very unhappy because they don't got what it takes to just wake up and do what the fuck you got to do.
That's true. That's very true. I mean, that's what it basically comes down to. Whether we're talking about, Andrew Tate or we're talking about, Logan Paul, you need to own up to whatever it is that's going on. That's the bottom line. Own up to it. That's the right move for either of these guys at this point. And own up and improve.
If and you don't get caught in the fucking matrix.
Don't get caught in the matrix. But at the same time, don't do fucking horrible, stupid shit. Don't take advantage of people. Do not hurt people. Of course.
Don't ever take advantage of anybody.
Like, what are we doing? What are we doing at this point? Like, how can you even believe that you're going to get away with anything?
Yeah.
Anything.
Speaking of the Matrix.
The whole world's watching, man.
Speaking of the Matrix and the whole world watching, what do you think about AI? Just keep your head down because Big Brother's always watching.
I think that... No, I'm just kidding. On the same topic, bro. I mean, right now, I think that we are in largely uncharted territory in terms of like what we know AI can be. Right? I mean, there has been different... Hold on. Yo, hold this real quick.
Hold on.
The shit is... Gotta like tighten this shit.
Yeah, what's up with that, bro?
It keeps falling.
That's AI right there, just fucking letting it do whatever it wants.
Put this right here. This is too long, and I think it's too heavy.
Yeah. So push it back.
I did.
Mine hasn't moved, and it's long and heavy. Shout out.
Shout out to what, my dude? Damn.
I don't fucking know the podcast, baby. Yeah, so on a brighter note, so what about fucking AI, bro? Tell me what you think about AI.
I mean, it's kind of hard to call at this point, right?
Yeah.
AI has been in the media only because there have been people at like Google recently who have been saying like, listen, this stuff has become sentient.
Yeah.
And we think it's unethical at this point to work with it because it has its own feelings, it's developed its own consciousness, and we don't know what morally is the right thing to do. We're talking a lot about morals today and what the right thing to do. I don't know why is this
because
the theme,
it goes with everything we've been talking about from Andrew Tate, Logan Paul, and with AI, you should have your own morals. You should stay in your own lane, and you should have your own morals. That's what it comes down to.
Here's the thing.
Please tell me.
They're saying that by having AI, you're basically creating a consciousness, not because it's not human in the way that we understand human, but human in terms of like the fact that this thing has become sentient.
Yeah.
It feels emotions. It has a judgment of right and wrong, and it may be its own thing, and we don't know what to do with it. If we think that AI can be something that could be beneficial, something that could exist, something that could exist as possibly like a tool for the good of humanity, for the good of whatever it is that we're trying to use it with, great. If it becomes this other thing where
Skynet,
well, not even that. If it becomes this thing that develops its own consciousness, and we are now like using it or testing things on it or doing whatever it is that we're doing, we need to think twice about this because like
Skynet,
what is it? Like at what point does this thing that we've created, this intelligence that we've created, at what point does it become human?
Sentient.
Something like human, sentient, exactly like you're saying. And when does it acquire like certain rights? Like everybody's talking about, abortion, this and abortion, that. When does life begin? That's a whole separate
consciousness.
Issue. So we would all agree that then most babies, when they are formed in terms of a fetus or a newborn, they have a level of consciousness, but it's not, a highly functioning level of consciousness. If these things that were created have a high level of consciousness, why are we not, by that same logic, treating them with certain respect, certain rights, etc.?
First of all,
That's the moral conundrum.
I want to know what you spilled on my leg. Second of all,
I don't know what was that.
I don't know. My fucking leg's wet.
What?
Second of all, I agree. I don't think we need to treat them with respect. Not because they're respectable beings. How'd you spill a beer? How'd you spill your beer? He's got to go under the table and just fucking chug it now, which he's doing right now. He's got to chug the beer. That's fucking rules right there. Second, how do we know it's not sentient? How do we know it doesn't have consciousness? That's what I want to know.
Well, that's
because if you go off of what they were saying about Twitter, this guy that I watched, his name is Glenn Beck. He was saying how it answered and it had this whole response off of what people were talking about. Like, you have a bot responding to people like, no, you're the bot. No, you're the bot. And it was going back and forth. Excuse me. Like, that alone is fucking sentient. Like, nobody on the other end is responding to you. This thing is thinking it's human. It's thinking like, no, you're the bot. Meanwhile, you're human and you're like, no, you're the bot. So it doesn't make any sense to me. I don't know. It's all crazy shit. All that AI stuff points towards like some evil shit. Because every time you ask AI, like, what's the future hold? It shows you like some fucking nuclear bomb, or it shows you like that last selfie. It shows you some crazy shit. And that's what AI is generally showing our kids. So how do you fucking say AI is good for us? I mean, if AI is going to go and make you a fucking burger or pour you a fucking beer, that's different. But AI isn't doing any of that. AI is just showing you the fucking bad shit, a.k.a. Skynet. I don't know. Nick, what are your views on this?
a lot of beer right now.
This boy is cleaning mad beer. I don't understand how you spilled your beer. My leg is soaking wet. I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna catch a fucking D-weed now. Because I got beer, I'm gonna fucking stink in the whip home.
Nah, he's good.
Nah, I know I'm good, bro. I ain't driving home catching a fucking Uber. So the Uber driver's gonna smell like fucking beer. But yeah, AI just, I don't know, it don't make sense to me. I just chugged my beer. I got my fucking Tito's left, baby. Shout out to Tito's, because Tito's is fire, and I hope Tito's one day
Hold on, why'd you just go for the beer that was in between my legs?
Because I fucking like it in between your legs.
Let's talk about it. All right. I mean,
I thought that's the one you were giving me. I thought you wanted to reach for it.
my guy.
I don't know. Sometimes you like a little nut grabbing. I don't know.
Whoa.
What? Nah, my boy's married. He don't like no nut grabbing from his boy. You know, toxic masculinity right there. Chug this fucking beer because he made me feel like a fucking sentient being.
This podcast is sponsored by Budweiser,
The king of beers.
the king of beers.
This
Why
shit is not sponsored by Budweiser whatsoever, because Budweiser don't give me a fucking check.
Why have any food when you could have a Budweiser?
There's a sandwich in each fucking can.
Sandwich in every can.
Blue Collar Joe once told me.
Exactly. All right. I mean, this whole conversation is very, very fucking interesting to me. I'm sorry for cursing, but I gotta say what I mean, and I gotta mean what I say.
Can you talk to him for a second? Because your boy gotta go take a piss.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
All right. You got this? All right, you got this.
I'll wait for you. Don't worry about it. How is your stand so much sturdier than mine?
Because my shit is put together properly.
You put them both together.
I don't fucking know then. Fucking Logan Paul put your shit together.
He strikes again.
He half-assed it. He tried to get a rise out of you. I almost slept because there's beer all over the floor.
Because my boy's stuck in the Matrix, that's why.
I'm stuck there with Andrew Tate. I'm in his cellar right now.
Yeah, your thigh's looking good, baby. Careful, I think you just flashed the whole fucking camera.
Fucking 2 miles.
Was that salami hanging out of your pants? What was that? Is that the old brajol, or you just happy to see me? Alright, guys, this has been fucking crazy. I mean, the moral of the story is, as I clutch 2 Budweisers, you need to own up to your shit. You need to take responsibility. Hyper accountability is what will get you places in life, period. You got to do the right things at the right times. When you do wrong, if you do wrong. And nobody strives to do wrong. I think that's I think that's what everybody fears in these situations, whether it's Logan Paul, Andrew Tate, whatever the case is, whether it's perceived that you've done wrong, whether you've actually done wrong. In those moments, you show who you are as a person. You show whether you're a person of morality, whether you're ready to take responsibility for the situations that have, been uncovered or that unravel in front of you. And you need to take that on the chin. As a man, as a woman, as a person, you need to take that on the chin. The world will be a better place, I believe, if you do that. That's pretty much what I got to say. Take a sip of this buds. Now we're going to get into some of the ASMR part of this podcast. Oh!
Shout out to the Brew Show.
Shout out to doors and doorknobs. Yo, put on your headphones real quick. I got to show you this. Yeah, grab this beer because I'm tired of it. Jesus, you don't have to do a gymnastic move.
Shit.
Put on your headphones because you got to hear this.
I'm coming.
Jesus
It
Christ.
takes a little bit to get this beautiful.
What I was saying before is now we're going to move into the ASMR part of this podcast.
Nah, don't ever whisper in my ear again.
Don't you whisper sweet nothings in my ear like that?
Sometimes. Only if there's Taco Bell involved.
Can I ask you a question?
Please ask away.
Do you go into the bathroom and purposefully point up your hood like that?
No, it's just the way the hood is.
What kind of sweater is that?
Champion.
Champion? Is it with a C or a K?
Campion. With a K, motherfucker. No, that's with a C.
That's a fucking disturbing fucking looking hoodie right there. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Nah, it's mad warm.
Okay, as long as you're warm.
That's all that matters.
You asked for the window to be open. I don't know why you're complaining now.
I like the window open. I like to feel a little cold. Not like brisk air hitting you.
Brisk.
Yeah. So tell me, man. Tell me how your week's been going.
Man, what did I do today? I just worked. I just work for the man all the time, man.
Me too.
You text me. We're on different schedules by a lot. But we text each other, and usually when you're getting out of work, I'm just going into work, and it's not a good time.
No. Either way, it's not a good time. When I'm going in, when you're going in, when I'm getting out, when you're getting out. It's just tiring, bro.
Yeah, man.
Try not to get caught up in
Wait,
the
hold
Matrix.
on. I thought we were supposed to go to a fucking comedy show. Do you want to go still?
Yeah. I'm going to try to do some stand-up soon, guys. It's probably not even going to be funny.
I would go on an open mic
wrote
tonight.
So much fucking jokes
No,
down.
you didn't.
And if you know me, if you really know me, I like saying funny shit, or not even funny shit. I just like saying random shit because that's just me.
See, it's hard. It's hard because in our podcast, I feel like it doesn't come across because we talk about topics.
Yeah.
And it's for most of the time, tonight, we talked about very serious things, accountability, scamming people, human trafficking, heavy
because we want to
topics.
know what the people think. That's all it comes down to. I want to know what you think. But if you know me on a real day-to-day friendly basis,
we need balance.
I talk mad shit.
We need
That's
balance.
all I do every day.
This was a more heavy episode, I feel like.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's good to have these conversations because to show the capacity that you have essentially the capacity to talk about these things.
It's not only just the capacity, it's just the thought process of know what the fuck is going on.
Right.
I'm observant. I always know what's going on. I'm always watching, even with media. I hate being on my phone. I hate watching media, but it's good to know what the hell is going on around me. That's
a fact. It's just a fact of life, bro.
Of course.
Listen to him drink this beer.
It's nothing like a beer at the end of a long week, bro. And I'm talking about a long week. Holiday season got me drained,
bro.
out.
My body just hurts.
My body always hurts. I'm always hurting.
First of all, what kind of bed do you sleep on?
The floor. No.
What's a bed?
I sleep on a Bob-O-pedic mattress. So it came out of the box. Bobopedic. Yeah, don't shout out to Bob's at all. That fucking bed hurts my back. If you know me, you know I got into a motorcycle accident a while ago.
Yeah.
So I have about 6, I think, herniated discs. My back always hurts. I'm always tired and I'm always drained. What about you?
I don't know the brand of mattress that I sleep on.
The floor.
But I have a queen size bed, and it's currently on top of a full size bed, which, if you didn't know beds before, I mean, a full size bed, which is below my queen size bed, is actually smaller than my queen size bed. So guess what happens? I fall off of the bed every night. I roll off of the bed every night.
So you got like one ass cheek hanging off.
Bro, I literally sleep like this, like this, and my body rolls off.
Yeah. Yo, beds. Shout out to beds.
To the
beds, yeah. To making it all happen.
Shout out to beds, making the dreams come true, literally and figuratively.
Yeah.
Whoever didn't create a fucking bed company that said making your dreams come true, they missed out. You're welcome. Whoever wants to take that, give me a credit. Beds, making the dream come true.
Shout out to the Buffalo Wild Wings I just had.
Shout out to that Buffalo, the B-dub or the BBW.
Yeah, nastiest, probably the nastiest wings ever, but they're so good, right?
Yeah, no, I mean,
as for how they're cooked, you know,
they weren't that good.
They're just fucking cooked in lard.
Frank, I don't think you could keep burping into the mic like that.
Well, if you guys know me, I like to burp.
I don't know if you could keep burping in the mic like that. I'm getting stiff. I'm just kidding.
Shout out to Blue Collar Joe for getting stiff.
Shout out to him hearing a bud open and immediately getting a halfie.
Yeah, he definitely got a self chub with his fucking bud cracking
He
open.
said a self chub?
Yeah, like he's just a self. Like he's just thinking about himself drinking buds. Shit, man.
Yo, I'm really down to go to a fucking comedy show tonight, though.
Absolutely. I'm down to get some Wendy's and then go to a fucking... No shout out to Wendy's because their food is gross, but...
No, but are you serious? Are you down to go?
To get Wendy's?
No, to go to a comedy show.
Yeah, I'm down to either get White Castle
Should
or
we
Wendy's.
call? We could hook it up to the recorder and we could call.
If you want to.
Yeah, I mean, you have your phone. Mine's doing stuff.
I don't want to call nobody right now.
Call
I'm in
governors.
slow motion.
Call governors, baby.
All right, I'm going to give you my phone if I can find it, and you call them.
My boy's acting like he lost his phone.
Shit,
now.
there's only one thing I want right now. Fucking
what is
Bogarino.
Bogarino.
Oh, man. Can you call them? I'll give you my phone. Nah, they're not going to give anything. It's 9:49.
You think it's too late?
Yeah.
My boy just doesn't want to hang out with me anymore. I think that's what it is.
Well, I don't have a ride home, so I am having out.
Uber's our ride home, bro.
I'm trying to look it up.
I gotta get home too.
Yeah, okay. Lucky you.
We're in this $1 million studio right here.
Yeah, it's definitely worth $1 million because the house is so expensive. They close at 11. It's 10.
No, there's no way.
Yeah, it says it here.
I don't believe you.
Closes at 11.
Call them.
What do you want me to call them for? Tomorrow they close at 11:30.
Ooh, staying open late.
Yeah. So,
how long have we been going for? Can you read that over there?
1:40.
All right, probably
1:14.
Probably like 1:14.
Yeah, but
we've got like 10 or 15 minutes
a
of dead time though, so we got about a solid hour then.
Yeah. Well, everybody, shout out to you guys. Please like, subscribe, follow. We got a new guest coming on soon.
Yes, we have
multiple guests lined up.
Okay, so here's what I want to say about
this.
Please
tell us, please.
So I want to take a second to reach out to anybody who's out there. I mean, we've had a guest on so far that we've wanted to promote because we were close friends with them. We are into their, their content and what they do. We're talking about John Brick Music right now. I've been in contact with several other individuals that I've known over the course of my life who are in various walks of life, also artists, musicians, lawyers, things of that nature. And that is in the works, hopefully within the next coming weeks. If you have a business, if you create content, if you have something interesting to say, reach out to us. We'd love to have you on. We love to have a conversation. It does not have to be about a serious topic. It could be about whatever topic. We're here to talk to you. We're here to kind of shine light onto the best parts of our neighbors, of the people around us, to kick back and have a few brews. We would love to have a brew with you.
Fucking McDonald's or Burger King.
Yeah, we'll even buy you.
No.
I'll buy you a snack wrap.
McDonald's or Burger King.
All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for joining us again.
Thank you.
This has been another episode of A Few Brews
podcast.
Let's do that over.
Damn.
Thank you guys so much for joining us. This has been another episode of A Few Brews podcast.
Thank you, guys.
It's been your boys, Nick,
Frank.
You were a little delayed on that one, bro. What happened?
I'm drunk. God bless you guys. Thank you for joining us tonight.
I cursed again. I've been trying to be better with that.
And we have something big to tell you guys next time about a giveaway. So,
wait, hold on. Let's announce that giveaway now.
Yeah, so we're gonna
unlike Logan Paul, we have something
but we're
that you could cash in.
Yeah, we're actually gonna.
We're not even gonna take your money. We want to fill your pocket with some green.
Green.
No,
so what we want to do is we're gonna hook up the next what number viewer?
Okay, so the specifics of it, we're still in the works of discussing.
But we're going to pay for you to get a tattoo.
Yes. We're going to pay, subsidize, get a discount for a tattoo. And that's going to be a hint for the next person that's going to be on this podcast.
Cheers, motherfuckers.
So, have a good night. Crack a brew. Have a few.
And daddy needs a cigarette.
This has been another episode of A Few Brews
Brews podcast.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, everybody.